What's up guys, it's Jim with Awaken TCG, bringing you guys another OP08 video today, and today we are going to be playing my original leader that I started on when I played this game for the first time. That is going to be Purple Kaido from Starter Deck 4. Now this leader has not really been in the realm of like possibility for even being talked about for I'd say about since OP02. There's really been no reason to play this leader over any other purple leader since then. He kind of fell into obscurity. But over 8 sets, who would have guessed this leader got a lot of support. And I think this is the first set where I can confidently say this leader is at least semi-playable. There is a lot of new tools that this leader has gotten. It's going to allow it to compete, especially in the current meta that exists in OP08. I think this deck in particular is going to be decent. This is no tier 1 deck by any means, guys. It's probably like barely pushing tier 2. I'm just going to be completely upfront. But it is a lot of fun, and it is really strong in certain scenarios. One thing, though, I do think it is still suffering from is what it was suffering from way ever since this deck's inception, is that you still kind of are reliant on drawing Onigashima Island. Nowadays, with this inclusion in OP07, we are able to search it out. If you don't know what this card does, this card searches for Animal Kingdom and Big Mom Pirates for 1 Dawn. So it is our only card in purple that is able to search out Onigashima. So finally searchable, so more consistency is always great, but obviously there's going to be tons of games where we don't see this card, and they're going to be usually a little awkward, but they're not unwinnable. So let's go over the deck real quick, and then let's get into some games. So we already went over this. It's, search Animal Kingdom or Big Mom Pirates. The good thing about this, obviously running the Animal Kingdom package, but now we have this new 9-cost Big Mom, which is really good because despite being a color where you are ramping Dawn, purple really did not have that many great high-costed characters, which is really surprising. Until now, this Big Mom is playable in every purple deck, and its effect is very strong. Removal with heal is just really good, especially when you can ramp to it. So, really good card, and searchable is also very nice. We already talked about Onigashima Island, so let's go over the searchable 2Ks in this deck. We have 2K X-Drake. This card is pretty much only for the fact that we can search out a 2K. I will rarely play this card. Only time I'll ever play this is if we have like no other plays. And we're really bricked up. Say we have like a handful of 2Ks. This is probably the most playable in some scenarios. Unless we have Black Maria, which is the main reason I'd say this deck is even in contention in OP08. This card is insane. Truly, in my opinion, should have been leader locked. You should not be able to play this card in decks like RP Law. This should definitely be locked to Animal Kingdom leaders, in my opinion. But this card is just insane. Being able to ramp 5 Dawn is obviously very strong. It doesn't do much in the early game because obviously your opponent is usually at less Dawn than you unless they did crazy ramps, so you can catch up to them. But other than that, this card is really good with leader effect. In some games, like if we really want to, if we know our opponent has no removal, say they're playing a deck like Red Zoro or something like that, they can't really remove things off board, you can play down Black Maria and just basically repeatedly use leader effect. I guess against the Red Zoro example, that might not be great. It's a little dangerous to play out a 2K out of hand against the current Red Zoro because that is a very scary deck. We'll definitely make a video on that in the future. But against decks like Enel, they only really have Gadatsu early to remove this, so you can kind of just crit their life and take their triggers for free. It's pretty fun. And otherwise, with our massive Dawn minus effects like these 10-drop Kaido or 9-drop Kaido, we can just kind of go right back up to 10 after the fact on the next turn, which is really strong. Yeah, this 2K is way too good. Truly don't know why they did not leader lock this card. And our last 2K non-searchable is going to be Sanji, one of our best cards after we do the big Dawn minus effects, because a lot of the times after that you are very vulnerable. Playing out a 6-cost or a 6K blocker for 3 is really good after the fact. Next up here, let's get into our blockers. We have searchable Queen right here, the tried and true purple card. Everybody knows how good Queen is, and that is why I'm running it. And we also have right here Trafalgar Law, the 4-cost blocker. I think this card kind of fell off when like Enel and Sakazuki were really in the meta. because you can just like Amaru it. Katakuri can do the same thing. This is going to get easily bottom decked by Sakazuki. But nowadays, it's like a lot of these decks are holding a lot of cards in hand. And this card is just a great answer to that. Whether it's Lucci, even RP Law sometimes. Like, this is just a great card to play out and rip cards out of hand. And then we have Useless Captain Kid with the plethora of Dom minus effects in this deck. This card comes in handy a lot. Although I do find myself really not wanting to play this card because I just have better options, right? If I'm on like 9 or 10 Dawn, I'm going to play something big. I don't really want to play a Kid at that point. If I'm in the mid game and I play this without a Dom minus effect, it's kind of a waste because I know it's going to get removed for the most part against most of the good decks. So it's just kind of in this awkward spot. But its strength really can't be understated, so that is why we do include it as a 2 of. And then let's get into our big guys in this deck. We have 4 of 6 cost King. This card has always been good, right? Your perfect curve is go first, play Onigashima, ramp, and then next turn you're on 6, and you can play this card KOing the 4 costs that your opponent just played. Even more so when we're playing against decks like RP Law, which are almost all 4 costs, so this always has a great target. Even against a lot of the black decks, there is a lot of 4 costs that this hits like pretty perfectly. So just a great on-curve card. Would consider cutting it down a bit. I just like seeing it on curve a lot, which is pretty crucial. And next up we have 9 cost Kaido. Always been one of the best purple cards. Nowadays with the 9 cost Big Mom, I think this is a little bit better in a few scenarios. It also is a lot less costly, right? The Dom minus 5 is way more than the Dom minus 1 for this insane effect. But this strength of this card cannot be understated. It definitely allows us to go for game in a lot of scenarios where we wouldn't have been able to. Also, with cards like Black Maria on board, you could actually do Dom minus 5 and then immediately get it back if this is already on board. And then even like use a leader effect after that, and then we have a few big swings. Like, it's pretty dangerous. So you know, you really do need to run this card. It is searchable as well. And then last up for the big cards, we have 4 of 10 cost Kaido. I would never ever have imagined I would ever run 4 of this card. Way back when I played this deck in OP01 and Zoro and Law were king, there was no way you can play this at a 4 of because you would just get run down before this could even touch the board. Nowadays with RP Law is a bit less aggro than those decks. Like, we do have the Kidney Killers late game, but if we just stay above 2 life, we really don't have to worry about that. And then they'll flood board and we can, you know, crack back red with this Kaido. That is going to be pretty much impossible to remove in that matchup in particular. Even decks like Lucci and stuff, I'm sure they do run Sabos and stuff like that, but if they just did a really big Moria play, say like a Rebecca into, you know, Spandine, Lucci, get a full board, clear yours, this is a great answer. Clearing Moria, blocker, everything, right? It's like, it's just really good against a lot of decks in the current format. Even decks like Enel, if they have 2 big cards on board, like, this is a fantastic answer as well. So the reason why we run this is just because in the current meta, there's just a lot of good decks that this has a great answer for. Lastly, let's get into our events. We already covered our 1 cost Searcher event, but now we do have this new Ragnarok. This is just a 5 cost KO and 8. Really good against a lot of decks, whether it's Moria or whatever else. For a little bit of a Dawn minus 1, right? But usually not that big a deal, especially when we are at 9 or 10 Dawn. Not to mention, also very searchable. And next up here we have Hakai Ocean Sovereignty is the new OP08 card. Again, buffing the power of this deck. Searchable as well, 2 ways with Animal Kingdom and Big Mom Pirates. KOing 2 6 costs is really big, especially in mono purple, where we really don't have the multi-board removal like some other decks do. Obviously, we do have the 10 cost Kaido, but we're not always going to be on 10 Dawn, and we're not always going to want to drop this, so this is really good in those scenarios. I might even consider putting Ragnarok down to 1 and this up to 3 in a lot of scenarios, because this is just really good against a lot of decks. And last but not least, I'm sure you noticed our deck has a lot of bricks, so we do have 4 of Gum Gum Jet Gallon to get rid of those. Best target probably being extra Onigashimas in hand, as they really have no use whatsoever. So just the fact that we can convert these into basically a 1k counter and this into a 2k counter is really nice. But with that all said and done, let's go ahead and get into our gameplay today. And for our first game here, it looks like we are going to be going against Rob Lucci himself. So we're going to choose to go first. And we actually do draw into a really good starting hand. So that is a definite keep. Kaido in this matchup is actually really good. As I was saying in the deck list portion, you can pretty much clear an entire board after they play Moria. So really good in that scenario. As well as a few others, right? But let's go ahead and start off with our search here. We do find the Onigashima, but we already have it in hand, so we are just going to go ahead and grab a 2K here, and we will pass back to him. Tudon, he does start off with the Ineos Lobby, which is definitely his best start, no doubt about that. 5K swing, he'll probably take, I would assume. Possibly not. Maybe wanting to get some cards in trash for an effect next turn, but I'm not going to play a character, so I don't really know if you'd want to counter out of that. One thing about Kaido, going low is very scary. If I get you really low, like, you can just get absolutely destroyed. Just the fact that when you are at 2 life, and I have a big character on board, it's usually just a good game. No way at all to get out of it. Did he just play a Spandine off of Rebecca? That was a very strange play. Draw Spandine, play Spandine. Yeah, that is not what I would have done, to say the very least. We do have a Law right now, but honestly, I think I'd rather play X-Drake, just get more counter out of his hand. So we're going to go 6, rip a card. I wish we had King. Like, King right here would be our perfect curve. Unfortunately, we do not have King, so we're going to use this, put him down to 3 cards. He gets rid of an extra stage, so that's actually good trash for him. He obviously did not need that in hand. And he is most likely going to remove this with a Kaku, if I had to guess. There is the 5K swing. I think we will take that as well. We do get the Black Maria, which is pretty solid. And from here, honestly, I kind of just want to play 10-drop Kaido next turn, so I think I'm just going to drop a Law and swing 9, no doubt. We do get the Jet Gatling, which allows us to put on a little pressure here, as we do have a good counter. So the 9K, he's definitely going to take. Don't really think there's a trigger that is worth using. Then from here, we'll just play Law, no card action, and pass to him. So, unfortunately, don't really have good cards. Like, I would rather have a Queen, no doubt about it, or something along those lines. He has on 8 Dawn right now, so we're kind of hoping he plays a Moria down, because if he does play Moria down, we're just going to completely clear this board. We're going to block before he has a chance to remove that, no doubt about that. We're going to remove it with our own Kaido anyway, so might as well use it while we can. There's the Sabo. He actually counters our 10-cost Kaido, which is a good play from him. I don't know if he had the Moria or not. I'm guessing he didn't, or else he would have played it, and he's going to play a Brook down as well, which is definitely just going to allow us to give him a 2K here, and if I don't get anything good, I'm probably just going to Black Maria this next turn. So let me think. So he's on 8. If we do Dawn -7, ramp back with Black Maria, we are completely fine. So you guys are going to see the power of Black Maria this turn. And I think we want to leave Law in hand just for the counter. So we are going to basically hope he doesn't have another Sabo. I don't think he will, honestly. So we're going to go 12 lead. A little bit of a goofy play, but truly I think it's our best play. I can't KO anything. I could KO Brook, but like, I mean, what do I do? Do I really use 6 Dawn to KO Brook? The answer to that is no. We'll use leader effect, take that Rebecca from you, thank you very much, and then we'll play Black Maria, ramp right back up to 8, and we're at 8, so we don't have to return any Dawn, and we will pass to him. So as long as he does not play another Sabo, we're going to just clear this board with Kaido next turn. He is going to instantly clear that with Brook, which is a little bit annoying. And he does get a Rebecca. If he grabs another Sabo, which he does, that is really rough. Definitely knows what I'm trying to do, unfortunately. Oh, but he's actually not going to play it. That is really big for us. So we will 100% counter out of that. And just kind of wanting to put ourselves in a position where we do not die. We're definitely not going to use that trigger. And then we will be countering out of this one, getting rid of an Onigashima in the process. And passing back to him. Really unsure why he didn't play the Sabo. I don't know why you grab a Sabo and then not play it. But there is going to be the board pop. And swinging 5 here, if he doesn't play a blocker, he might just lose next turn. And he actually gave us the Sabo to counter. So if he doesn't have a blocker right now, this game's pretty much over. I'm going to 7 Dawn next turn, +1. So it's kind of just like a 12-12. Do you have it? And odds are he doesn't. He just played a 2K out of hand and got rid of another Ineos lobby. Let's see if he has a blocker on top of that. Hopefully it's not a Sabo, because if it is a blocker, I'm just going to play Hakoku, I think this is called. Hakai Ocean Sovereignty. Apologies. He might actually kill my Kaido right now. Yeah, he actually is. If that's a Kaku, then my Kaido is dead. However, I can clear both of these cards with the Hakai Ocean Sovereignty, which is going to make this a little bit bearable. So 5K, I think we're actually going to take. I could use a 0 cost, but realistically, would rather not. That is a really good trigger for us. And I think our best target right now might be King. Oof. Really not the best targets. I wish we found a 2K. But we'll take King here. King later in the game is really not that good, honestly. Unfortunately. But we try to do another 10 cost. Little bit rough. So we can either swing 6. We're definitely playing this card. Question is, do we swing sit? I think we need counter. So we're actually going to swing 5. And then we will have him probably counter out of this, yeah. And that's going to be a search into a 2K, or we can actually grab Queen. I think I'm just going to be countering next turn. So I think I'd rather have the 2K. And then we're going to KO both of these right to the trash. So, unfortunately, I can't win next turn. Do not have a rush card in this deck. And I really might have wanted to grab Queen last turn. We are only on 8 Dawn, so we actually cannot play this Big Mom 2, which is really rough. I think this game might be over unless he decides to block with this Borsellino. Then we have a chance, but... He probably won't. He's probably just going to take, yeah. And we'll play the Sanji. Ramp 1. But I think the odds we win this game are very low. We can counter out a 1 and counter 1, but he's actually going to play a Moria. But getting all those blockers on board is a bit of a problem. It looks like he's not going to kill Sanji, which is interesting. But, I mean, I could play Kaido, but it's not winning me any games because I have no life at this point in time. Question is there a way I can get rid of this blocker and win the game? It might be a possibility. We'll have to see. He's going to do the Spandine into most likely the Lucci, I guess, just to get a character on board. Definitely not the best Lucci player I've ever seen. He's going to do the Khalifa. Just cycle out his hand, it looks like. Try to get some counter. I don't think there's anything that can KO this card at this point in time. We will definitely be countering out of that. Getting rid of the 10 cost Kaido because there is completely no reason to play that card at this point in time. If he swings with the Borsa, I think he lost. Genuinely. He should not swing with this if he's considering it. Okay, so he actually did not swing with it. So this is our only chance to win. We just kind of have to hope he is bricked. We will ramp here. And we have to just crit this life. We do not want him to take it. And then we have 2 7K swings. Question is, can he beat 7K? And if he can, this game's over. And it looks like he can, unfortunately. So that is going to be the game. That is all I had in the tank, unfortunately. But a really close game against a top-tier meta deck. So I think a decent showing, at least. And next up here, it looks like we're going to be going against red and blue Marco. Definitely an interesting leader that most people thought was going to be very strong going into OP08. Spoilers, it has shown otherwise. So I don't know what variant this is running. I know there's a lot of Revolutionary Army variants, which is not something I expected this leader to run. So I really don't know what to expect. I'm just kind of going to play this Black Maria early and hope he doesn't kill it, to be honest. So we'll swing 5. Then we'll be playing a Black Maria. I think he probably counters out of this. Marco is a bit frail, so I think you always want to counter when you can. But next turn, we're definitely just going to do Play Kid and use Leader Effect if he doesn't KO Black Maria. Again, I don't really know what to expect from this deck, but I don't really think it has that crazy a removal, so I'm going to play like it doesn't. Obviously, you can do some like power manipulation removal, which with Leader Effect, which is really strong. Like if he had like a KO of 0, this does not do that, so that's good for us. And I think this is the same as that 5-drop ace. It's just draw 2 and then return 2 to the top. But at this point, he has no Dawn to actually make use of that, so he's actually not going to attack, which I find very strange, to be honest with you guys. So we're going to play the kid, and we are going to attack for... Actually, I don't want to get punished by a trigger, so we're going to use this first. We will do our Leader Effect, getting 1 back active here, and then we'll be swinging 6. We actually did trash a 4-cost Marco, which I think is a pretty good card to trash. Truly. 6k swing, if you don't have a 2k, you do have to take. Yeah, and it looks like he is going to do that. And if he can't remove this Black Maria, I'm just going to do the same thing again. If you don't play out a card from hand, I'm also just going to rip cards from your hand with Law. Black Maria is just so insane because it just allows for the most amount of Dawn minus effects you could ever want. So he'll go 6. I'll definitely just be taking that. That is a great trigger to see. We do see the Onigashima, which is great. I'm probably just going to grab that because it is not too late in the game that I do not care about it. But we do have another Black Maria, unfortunately for him. So we're going to be doing the same thing once again. So we'll be going back to 6 Dawn. That is completely fine. 6 cards in hand, so I think we're going to swing 7 with lead first. Or sorry, not 7 with lead, but 7 with Kid. Ooh, I do want to play Onigashima though, but I think we're going down to 6 anyway. Do we ramp back up after the fact? No, because we do, yeah, we do ramp back up after the fact. All right, so we're going to go 5. See what he does. If he takes, I think this is a big mistake. Question is, do we swing with Kid? I think we do. He's going to minus it anyway, and I can't block with it, so I guess you might as well get some value with it. I'd rather attack than block, truly. So we'll go another 6. Okay, and then we will be playing the Onigashima Island. And to you, Black Maria, ramp 5. Leader Effect, we'll take another life. Ramp 1 here, and then we are on 5 Dawn, which is not too shabby. I could have done this first and actually swung 7, which probably would have been a little better, but I don't really think it mattered. He actually has the Seaquake, so he does have a lot of ways to actually KO Black Maria in this deck. Does not change the fact that it is really annoying for him. Looks like he's going to just swing into our Kid. That is completely fine with me. We'll definitely be countering out of this 6k and then taking the 7k. Not much to think about there. We do get the Queen, which is a really good draw for us here. And we do get another Black Maria. I think we're just going to... Do we just do the funny thing and play another Black Maria, or do we play a Queen and play a little bit safer? Honestly, I think we're going to play funny, guys. You really just have to, right? So we're going to go here. We'll swing a 9 at ace. So he either gives us this block or he gives us 2 cards out of hand, both of which he probably doesn't want to do. Then here's Black Maria. We will be using Leader Effect. Dawn minusing 7, taking that life. Thank you very much. Ramp, and passing back to him. So at this point, if he doesn't have a blocker, he's dead next turn. If he does have a blocker, though, I might be in a little bit of a rough spot, honestly. And I think this deck runs a decent amount of blockers. He does run the 4-cost Marco, That I can remove with Ragnarok and then swing with the rest of my Dawn, but that is only going to be 8k? I mean, 8k is not bad, but obviously I'd rather have bigger numbers. He could also have a rush card right now and possibly win. So if we go 6 with lead, with Marco, I think we're just going to have to counter out of that. I don't want any scenario where we're able to lose this game. We'll definitely take the 7. That's going to be a... Oof. So here's the thing, right? If I trigger this and he has... Can he have 2 cards with the rush? He can have... If he's running like Kid and Killers, yeah, I'm dead. So oof. I'm going to keep this. That might be wrong. Truly might be wrong. But we'll have to see. This one I'm going to use because I think we're fine at this point. We just need as much Dawn next turn as we can get, and he does have the Marco. He has the double Marco, actually. Wow. That is a little bit annoying. Question is, can we do anything about it? I don't think so, honestly. That is kind of rough. Because we can KO 1 with this, right? And then we have 4 Dawn left, which means we can go 6k, 6k. That's not enough. I think we need to play Big Mom here. So we're going to go ahead and go 5 at lead. See what he has. If he blocks with Marco here, I might go for it. No, he's going to counter out, which is definitely the right answer. So we'll go ahead and play Big Mom. We will return this Dawn, trashing probably another Big Mom. We'll gain a life, and then I think we put this Marco on the top. And we can actually just trash this with our leader effect next turn if we really wanted to. Question is, are we dead right now? If he swings with his blockers and we live, we do win. But I think he's going to play safe. At least that's what I would do if I were him. So he'll start off with 7k. I think that is 100% the right answer. We do have to counter out of this. There's no doubt. Now he needs all of these 3 swings to hit. His best swings are going to be... He can go 9-9. He can go 7-9-9, which is going to be dependent on our life whether we can beat it or not. So we will have to see, because obviously if one of these is non-counter, it's not a big deal. I just need one of them to be a 2k. Or he can actually go 7, 8, 10, which is also a little bit scary. So he's gonna, looks like he's gonna do it. I mean, he's just attaching 2 and using leader effect. Just gonna see his options. That's the power of drawing 1 and trashing 1 every turn. Obviously that's why Sakazuki was so broken. This leader's color combination, I think, is the reason it's not as strong. But I think he's going to go for it. So that's actually not bad. But I don't want to say it's good. We can only use 1, actually, now that I think about it. And he's going to go, yeah, the perfect numbers here. And I think we lost, unfortunately. We needed a 2k. And that is going to be the game. Yeah. GG. And last but not least here, looks like we're going to be going against an Enel, which is definitely an interesting matchup for Kaido. As I was saying, we really can just kind of crit all his life if we really wanted to. I think 9 cost Big Mom is our best play here. Maybe Queen. Oof, this is a rough choice. Probably Queen. At least with our 10 cost Kaido that we probably want to play a little bit later, we probably would rather have Queen. So that's going to be a 6k swing. We'll just end up taking that. That is a free ramp, so we'll 100% take that one. Going up to 5 next turn. He does have the Shirahoshi, which I'm probably just going to swing 7, and I'll swing 6, and I'll play Stage in the 1 cost event. 6, let's see if he gets a trigger. He does not. Very fortunate for us. We will just probably grab... I guess I'll grab... this is rough. Do I grab a 2k or do I grab 9 cost Kaido? If I ramp right now, we will be on 6, which means we'll be on 8, which means we probably just want to play a 10 cost. So I think we'll just grab X-Drake, and then we will ramp and pass to him. Definitely going to play Law next turn, if we can help it. So he'll go 5. I think that's just a 1k from us. We don't want to go too low. It's a bit scary. And he does play the ace, so it's probably just going to be a... I think he's going to take any attack we go for. So honestly, I'd rather get a Black Maria on board. We'll go 6. He does take, very nice, so we'll do the RP Law. We get a ace and a beige, which is really solid. Playing the Black Maria, we'll use leader effect, down -7. We do trash a good trigger, very nice, and then we will ramp and put one back. So not a bad turn for us at all. Definitely a reason why I think this matchup is a little bit in Kaido's favor. We'll definitely take that. 2 Dawn here, I guess we'll take that as well. Does this trigger do anything? I don't think it does. It puts us at 8, but we don't really care about 8, so. I guess we wish we had another Black Maria. We do not. I don't really have that many great plays this turn. So I think I just have to take out this ace and then play a Kaido next turn. That's probably just the play. We'll put 5 here, we'll go 10. If he wants to give us double 2k out of this, be my guest. He actually does, so we're gonna go 7 with Law, get another card out of hand. There's the beige, and then we'll ramp 1 and... Oh, why do we have to return to Dawn? Is that bugged? Because Black Maria's not on board anymore, we shouldn't have to do that. Wow, we just got bugged. That sucks. I mean, I guess we're playing Big Mom then. See, next turn, if it didn't make us do that, we were just going to get to clear this board with Kaido, and then it was probably going to be wraps, honestly. But that's fine, I guess. We'll go 5 at lead. Let's hope no good triggers. He's actually going to counter out. Interesting. So we will go ahead and do this. 1 Dawn. Unfortunately, we have to trash the Kaido. The only reason I don't like doing that is because it reveals to him that we have it. So they kind of play differently when they know that you have it. But seeing that we trashed it, he might not care. So let's add this to the bottom and pass to him. Yeah, I'm not sure why it made us return 1 Dawn, because the Black Maria got removed the last turn. Okay, so that's a great play for us, because it does not get rush, and we get to play the 10 cost Kaido. So 5k to us, we definitely need to counter that, and then we'll take the 9k. We do get the king, so now we're just going to start swinging lead, and then clear this board for free. He does counter out of that, which is kind of funny. And let's see if he gets a trigger. He does not. We will just clear this board. We do heal him 1 from the Shirahoshi, which is a little tough, because obviously now it's a lot harder to win. But if he does not have anything crazy, that's definitely a play you can go for. So he'll banish 1. And from there, I guess we kind of just swing big, play a queen. Not really much to think about. We kind of just have to hope he doesn't get a great trigger. He does get the Frankie draw 1. That's not really a big deal. So we use queen, and we will be trashing another 10 cost. Now at this point, if we maintain 3 characters on board, we can't go for game now. However, this ace does not get rushed, so that's not that big a deal. So I guess we'll swing with queen. Because there's a lot of scenarios where it just gets KO'd anyway, and I should only need 1 blocker next turn. And now we know we're not playing around a trigger there, so probably just going to attach, how much here? 3? Attach 3. Swing 8. Let's see what trigger he gets. He does not get one. Very nice. We'll swing 12. Take that ace to hand. And trash a card. And we will be playing the Kid using the Dawn -7. Trashing that to Gadatsu. That's actually not really that great of a card to trash for us, but not too big of a deal. And at this point in time, if he doesn't have a heal, he pretty much lost. But in that case, he's probably just going for game. 5k swing. I think we... Oof. I guess we have to use this. Unfortunately, that's our only counter. Bit awkward, but that is really all we can do. We'll take that one. We want to leave as many characters on board as we possibly can. That's going to be a counter from us again. And if that is another ace, we'll just block 2k and pretty much win. He can't heal at this point. He can only really play, another ace, which is going to be obviously blocked. He knows the game is over at this point, though. With no life on Enel, that is when you lose. So that is going to be our game against Enel. I think probably one of the best matchups, if I had to guess. But I think a pretty good showing for the deck. We did lose a few games, but let's go ahead and get into our final deck list. And that is going to be our video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my Purple Kaido gameplay, even if it was a bit scuffed. Again, this deck is not great by any means. It's just honestly really funny with the new Black Maria combo. There is some ridiculous stuff that you can do with leader effect plus this card. This deck is not going to be meta anytime soon, but I think it's honestly a threat in a lot of scenarios. If you draw the cards you need to see, your opponents just kind of crumble sometimes. There are some cards in this deck that just straight wipe matchups. It's kind of hilarious sometimes, and a lot of fun at that. So please, in the comments, let me know if you would change anything in this deck. I know I would probably make a few changes, maybe like one more 9-cost Kaido, maybe one less King, maybe honestly removing Ragnarok altogether. After testing this card a lot, I don't really know how good it is. 5 down to remove an 8, it's just not great, right? Removing one body is not huge. You'd rather just play this. So, but anyways, guys, that is going to be the video and the deck. Hope you enjoyed, but I'm going to head out of here. Hope you guys have a good day. Please do like and subscribe. And do follow our Patreon as well. Wraith posts a lot of good stuff on there. A lot of value to add to your game. Coming out with stuff every week, so please do check that out in the description. But anyways, I'm going to head out of here. You guys have a great day. Peace.